Hey there folks, Herman's Gamma here, and welcome back to our Random Stream Friday. Those who are new, it's Random Stream Friday. We play games at random. Something new, something old, might be the same game for the whole month, you never know, right? Check it out. As always, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe so you can get more episodes like these. But if you want to catch us live and in person, head over to Twitch. I stream every night at 9. Unless something comes up, of course. Anyway, let's get back to the infectious madness of Dr. Dekker. For recap for those, is Dr. Dekker's been murdered. Possibly by one of his patients. The goal is to have sessions with each patient and figure out who exactly killed Dekker. You're filling in for him,
Midnight each day.
On Valentine's night.
Time as you know it freezes.
20 minutes past 10.
Keep up, Doctor.
Thinks we're going to smother her in her sleep.
I'm a grave digger, Doctor.
I was at home,
David is my husband.
all on my lonesome.
Stabbed him with a steak knife.
Nothing changes.
I'm a qualified angel of death when I'm dancing.
You get this day over and over.
Hilda,
I black out.
I don't think she's got long.
And Laurie just...
Naked on the beach.
Hannah.
Is that it for today?
Nathan, my man, let's talk.
Hello again, Doctor.
Hey,
Had a
Nathan.
bit of a shaky loop incident, but let's not talk about it. Yesterday, I set fire to Hannah's clothes in the garden.
Why would you do
I
this?
just wanted the day to move forward. I instantly regretted it. And lo and behold, here we are, a new day. Hannah's clothes are a pile of ashes.
Okay.
I've kept almost all of her stuff as she left it. Just the clothes. I've decided to burn those yesterday, so here I am. Hannah loved clothes. Every season, she'd donate her entire wardrobe to some charity or another, and only buy stuff she loved. I was left with winter. I don't even know what her favourite season was.
Well,
Does
damn.
it matter? What's your favourite season, Doctor?
Why do you want to know, Nathan? Sorry about the noise, guys. My dog is just... I'm a winter person.
If you like winter, you're supposed to be hard-working and analytical. I suppose that increases my chances of you curing my problem. I don't think winter was Hannah's favourite season. Not colourful enough. I was at Henley Church on Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
visiting Hannah's grave. It's the anniversary of her death.
Uh,
Her parents wanted a huge funeral with all the trimmings. Hannah would never have come for it. But it does give me somewhere to visit. I got to write the epitaph.
hey. And what did you wrote, Nathan?
I left Henley Church about 11 o'clock on Valentine's Day.
Huh.
I was talking to an archaeologist who said it uncovered some fossils resembling a strange cephalopod-like creature.
Huh.
Strange place to find an octopus, really. What? Do you think I've got something to do with Dr. Dekker's murder? Maybe you should ask your assistant who Dekker saw that day.
Huh. Nathan, I'm not blaming you.
We walk alone without our angel.
Do you feel lonely?
I've been alone since Hannah. I can't imagine anyone ever replacing her. Not that I've looked. Do you think I should look for someone else?
Yeah, Nathan, sometimes in life you gotta move a little bit forward, you know? I know it's hard. You can't really just up and forget a person. I mean, they were your whole existence. Whether it's through death or whether you're whether you just never see that person physically anymore, they had a key role in your life. But I'd like to assume, even after you're broken up, these people still want you to get back out there and meet new people.
Thanks, Doctor. I appreciate that. I still don't think I'm ready to move forward in that respect. I'm not religious, but when I wrote Hannah's epitaph, I knew her parents would want some acknowledgement of the great bearded one. But she was an angel to me. She was an angel to everyone.
Huh.
Dr. Dekker felt that Hannah was holding me back. The memories of Hannah.
Well,
In his opinion, I was holding on to the past. So I guess he
kind of
cursed me.
agree.
That's even a thing.
You curse you?
Yes, Dr. Dekker cursed me. I don't really want to talk about it, but let's just say I blame him for the way I am. Can you give me some advice, Doctor?
Sure. What you need?
I've been trying to think how I can get past today. I've come up with a couple of choices. I could set fire to Hannah's photographs. I've got them in Dropbox anyway. But setting fire to the clothes did the trick. Or setting fire to a rocking chair. She sounds like an old lady, but she loved that rocking chair, which I've not sat in since. Which one do you think's best?
I don't think you should do any of that. I'd say... I don't know, the photos hold on to the memory of Hannah, and so do the rocking chair, but I feel if you burn the photos, out of sight, out of mind, but... I say burn the photos.
Photographs it is then. I'll let you know how it goes. It was a missed call. It was Valentine's Day, so I wasn't in the mood for conversation.
Oh, okay. Let's see. We got a lot of questions.
She's dead. Thanks for bringing that up.
Okay.
She was interested. Maybe I misread. Maybe she was just being kind. I suppose most women wouldn't enjoy me talking about my dead ex for hours. I like winter. Being snowed in with Hannah. Just the two of us.
Yeah, I'm a winter person too, yeah.
It's paradise. It's a sea creature, like an octopus. I suppose they find dinosaur bones everywhere.
They do.
Just because we're on land now doesn't mean millions of years ago this place wasn't at the bottom of an ocean.
True. Hey, Mariana. My favorite. How are you today,
I haven't been
Mariana?
back to the beach since our last session, and no blackouts.
Okay.
New
Good
doctor
news.
and new hope. You're much better behaved than Dr. Dekker.
Yeah, we did it. Mariana hasn't had any blackouts.
I haven't been back to the beach since our last session. Kind of missed it. I didn't do anything on Valentine's Day. I washed my hair, and then I walked along the beach for the whole night. It's actually true. I saw one of your patients, actually. The nurse. She was on the pier with someone
I wonder if it was Dekker at the time.
pretty much all of the night, too. So I can vouch for her, even though she probably didn't see me.
Oh, okay.
You do something a lot, you're gonna miss it. I suspect I'll go back there soon, but it's helped with the blackouts. Dr. Dekker dated his patients. That's not good behavior, is it?
But come on, Mariana. If I was no longer your therapist, we probably could go out. But I mean, like, accidentally leave your phone number or something.
I think her name was Scarlett? One of his patients, an older woman. I guess that's how he liked them.
You sound a little bit jealous, Mariana. Dr. Dekker was a therapist who liked older women. Older women. Say older women. What can you tell me about him?
He went out for drinks. Didn't you know?
What?
He said it was a breach of something or the other, but I can be pretty persuasive when I want to be.
Breach of what? Patient therapist confidentiality or something? Big old freak, ain't you, Mariana?
I know, it's pretty hard to believe, isn't it? I feel pretty ugly.
Aw, don't feel that way.
But I think I have a nice smile.
Good.
Yeah, drinks. I think Dr. Dekker ordered neat whiskey. I had water. I don't drink.
Really? I thought Mariana said she didn't drink. Huh, this is interesting. We need to think that question over. I'm gonna try to do the keyboard thing. Huh. I'm thinking. I'm trying to think. Okay, let me see. Did you drink?
No idea. Lots of people find me attractive, but I've seen something truly beautiful. It makes me feel dull by comparison. I guess it was a couple of days before Valentine's Day. It wasn't a date or anything. I noticed in our sessions that he'd been acting a little strange.
Huh.
He just
How strange?
didn't seem right. I wanted to find out what was wrong.
Yeah, that's not nice of you.
I have a recurring dream where I find something beautiful in the sea. But I don't know you that well yet, Doctor. Let's wait a while before I tell you my most intimate secrets.
sorry to cut things off. I just had a phone
girl,
call
scared
from
the hell out of me.
solicitor. Ben's trying to sue us for nervous shock. Should I go and see him to talk it out, or should I find a solicitor to represent us? Sorry to be pushy, I just think we should act quickly before it's too late. Well, just let me know.
Okay. Wow. It scared the crowd.
Wouldn't you like to know? Is our session up now?
Oh, I suppose so.
I've danced around in my living room, but no clubs since last time. I like dancing around in my underwear. Sometimes less.
Sexy.
People are quick to put labels on everything. I suppose Dr. Dekker was more than just a therapist to me. We had a lot of things in common, but
Is he a sugar daddy?
we weren't seeing each other.
Okay. Y'all was just hanging out, just shooting the breeze and whatnot.
Some girls say that they're washing their hair when they don't want to go out, but I was genuinely washing my hair. Do you think my hair's pretty, Doctor?
I don't think I should be answering that.
I'm not seeing anyone at the moment. Are you offering, Doctor?
Yeah. Yeah. I shouldn't be doing that. I don't know. Therapist, patient, I shouldn't be asking out anybody. You know what? Why you feel you need your hair is pretty?
I'm insecure, Doctor. Isn't it obvious?
Sure. You know what? I'm technically a temporary therapist, so sure.
Well, you have my number, Doctor, and my address. I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together, if you want to.
After I solve this murder case, we can go out and get some drinks. Get some of the Ciroc. Yeah, sure, your hair's pretty.
It's such a mess. But thank you.
Alright, on to the next patient. Elaine, I think you've been murdering patients as a nurse. So, let me see. How are you today?
I haven't had a great day, to be honest. Someone accused me of stealing from my patients, which I would never do. Plus, Hilda's getting worse.
Okay, so let's see, what's up?
Hilda's the one I mentioned in our last session. She's dying. I can tell. I need to see her before it's too late.
What were you accused of stealing?
This? Well, it started with this. It's a locket. Alice, one of my patients, gave it to me before she died.
I think you killed her. Huh. Okay, so Elaine accused of stealing. Said it started with the locket. What else? Patient's given her. So we got like 2 questions right there.
I have a few other things. A watch, a ring. One patient gave me a little china bird. They're not valuable, just trinkets, really. Strictly speaking, all of the patient's belongings should be passed on to family members after they die. But Alice's son never visited.
Huh.
He didn't care about his mum. Why would he care about some worthless piece of jewellery? It just doesn't feel right to me. What do you think, Doctor? Am I wrong to keep the locket.
Huh.
Really? I don't see the harm. Alice wanted me to have it. You and Terry and all the other nurses just don't understand.
I don't know. I don't think you should keep that. Let's see.
Actually, I had a hot date.
So
It
I've
wasn't
heard.
anything serious, just
Mariana
some
saw
guy
you
I
on the
met.
pier.
But it was a nice date. Different to what I'm used to.
Why was the
It
date
was
different?
very traditional, old-fashioned, you know? Dinner at a nice restaurant. Then we went for a little walk along the pier.
Okay.
Held hands, had a bit of a kiss. Then he called a cab, and I went home, alone.
Huh. Yeah, that sounds very traditional.
I think it was about 11 when I left Max.
Huh.
I'm
Okay.
sure you could check with the taxi company if you really wanted to. If you think I need an alibi.
Well,
Help her finish her unfinished business.
huh.
People who are dying always have things they wish they could do before they go. We leave a lot of loose ends in our lives. We're very messy that way.
I've noticed. So,
Hilda wants to see her daughter. She's in Australia, so I'm going to have to use my talent.
okay.
Yes, I had a session with Dr. Dekker on Valentine's Day.
I figured.
3 o'clock, I think. Just a few hours later, he was... I still can't get over it.
Huh. What talent?
I can change my skin. What I look like. I can turn into a patient's loved one. I just, hold their hand and ask them to imagine that the person they want to see is sitting right here next to them, and I become them. It's how I help them move on. That's how I comfort them.
Okay.
I only shift at work to help my patients. I don't have any interest in using it as a party trick or to deceive anyone.
Oh, okay.
His name is Max. He's really sweet, but I don't see a future between us. He's not really my type.
Huh.
I've known Max a couple of years, but this is the first time we've been on a date.
Well, no.
I don't think he's boyfriend material.
Hey, Matt's probably hearing us saying, dang.
Of course, it was Terry that accused me of stealing. One of the other nurses. She's actually trying to make out that I'm some kind of HSK.
And what's that?
Healthcare serial killer. You know, like those nurses that kill loads of their patients. I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. Anyway, because a few of my patients have died on me, and some of those patients have given me gifts, Terry thinks it means that I've been killing them off.
Can't be. Let's see. I'm still a little unruly.
Dr. Dekker seemed fine on Valentine's Day. He seemed to be in a good mood. It didn't seem like anything was bothering him. can sense it. You know? It's like when
Intuition, huh?
you're outside and there's a sudden change in the light or the air feels different and you know it's going to rain. It's like that. I always know when one of my patients is fading, even before the doctors know. Their energy changes. It sounds silly when I put it into words. I sound like my mum.
Okay, next person. Claire. How are you
It's
today?
the anniversary of my parents' death today. I went to the lake house. I always go to the lake house anyway, but it's also where they died.
What's this?
They died of carbon monoxide poisoning. I was staying at a friend's house. Otherwise, I would have died too. The day Dr. Dekker was killed, I had a session with him in the morning at my usual time, 11 o'clock.
Okay.
That was the last time I saw him. I stood for a while, looking across the water. It's peaceful there. It's the place that makes me feel the most. There was a girl there, by the lake, only about 9 or 10. She was fishing, if you can call it that, with one of those nets on a stick.
I don't think.
I don't know why I talked to her. She looked sad. I don't usually talk to children, but she seems different, special. I'm allowed to talk to her, aren't I, Doctor?
Let's
Maybe I've been
access.
hunting again, and, well, she's seen some of the skins he hung around the lake house.
That's a lot of questions.
Good. It felt nice. I felt like I was being nice. I felt human. So I can find her and talk to her again, Doctor. Animal skins. David hunts, then skins. It's horrible, really. He's not really good at either job, so the skins still have great lumps of bloody carcass hanging off them. I'm sure he'll get better with practice.
Okay.
David wasn't there. Or at least I didn't see him. I didn't go inside. I forgot my key, and the spare was missing.
Then I'm still mulling over the collection. She has a lot.
Dr. Dekker made me an offer that I couldn't refuse. I'll be taking it to the grave with me, though. As the tea.
I don't know. I feel like the exact frequency for the dog whistle. Maybe you don't like cosplay gloves. Okay. Next clue.
Then I will. I'll look for her next time I'm there. Valentine's Day night, I was at the lake house, watching David, like I always do.
Let's ask some more questions.
Met isn't the right word. David has always been there, in the shadows, on the periphery. I move in very exclusive circles. You tend to see the same faces.
Okay, let's see.
It was 12 years ago. I was still very young. Too young to be an orphan, anyway. I had to toughen up quickly. Love? Yes.
There's no such
Of course
thing.
I always will. I don't move in any circles anymore. Those people were my parents' friends, not mine.
Okay.
He has trouble with his mental faculties and is getting worse. Yes. I'll watch him and make sure nothing bad happens.
You clear? We'll talk about the girl.
I don't know. I suppose she just reminded me of me. I spent a lot of time alone as a child. She said she was trying to catch some strange creature that she's seen in the water. I don't know. Minnows, probably. Everything's strange when you're a child.
Let's see. How she's asked someone else now. What was that? Let's see.
I spent most of Valentine's Day at the art gallery. Well, the evening part, anyway.
Huh.
They had a display with the theme Love Conquers All. I didn't get most of the paintings, but they were well done.
Thanks. Alright then. So, Bryce.
Possibly a relative of yours. Possibly a patient that died here. I'm not sure. She doesn't normally say anything.
Let's see. How are you today?
There's something I want to tell you about.
Sort of a long
Something
holiday.
else that's wrong with me.
What's wrong with anything?
I think I've been getting a bit out of control in my hour.
Alright, next question.
I dug the grave for Dr. Dekker.
What?
I helped carry his coffin to the burial site. Do you know what? It didn't weigh enough to have a body in it. Why do you think that is?
Alright, Bryce, let's ask you some more things.
No, the coffin wasn't empty. There was something in it. A decoy, I'd imagine.
Okay, Rice.
When I first got the hour, I was shocked, obviously. It took me a while to work out that everyone was frozen and only I could move,
Okay.
because I live on my own. What would you do, Doctor, if you had an hour where everyone was frozen? Go to a fairground? That was just an example, Doctor. I'm sure you can come up with more exciting things to do than that.
You don't find the fear exciting?
I'm guessing he was buried somewhere else, or cremated. Somebody somewhere didn't want his body going in the ground. Do you want to be cremated or buried, Doctor?
Huh. Let's see.
Well, that makes me feel a little better. There's a young mother, divorced, who lives opposite me. Jessica. She's friendly and says hello to me, smiles.
Oh, ain't
I've
that
always
nice,
wondered what
Bryce?
she looks like. Naked.
Oh, that's
For
creepy,
1
Bryce.
hour, I broke into her house. She was standing in her bedroom. I took it as a sign. I took off her clothes and... If you're buried, people can bring you back. You don't want to see people when they come back.
I don't mind coming back.
I did think, what good could I do other than catch
See?
up with work? I did see a woman who was having her purse snatched, so I gave her purse back. And the crook, I placed him on a bus a few blocks away. I have no idea where it was going. She'd never really be able to thank me, so I took another picture.
Why are you doing this, Nathan? Bryce.
I took photos of Jessica when she was naked. When I'd stripped her. When she was naked and frozen. I didn't want to have to do it again, to strip her again. So I took pictures to remind myself what she looked like. That's wrong, isn't it, Doctor?
A little.
I know. It's that bloody Dr. Dekker. He made me this way. It's all his fault.
Placing blame?
Like I said, I originally presented with depression, and everything was going well for a while. Then Dr. Dekker changed. He was easily distracted during sessions, like he wasn't listening. I'm pretty sure he wasn't listening half the time. I don't think he wanted to know about his patients anymore.
Yeah,
But when
strange.
he did give you advice, he told me to use my imagination to make something up, to
Okay.
think something crazy, and it would become real. He told me to think of a way to get more time. So I did. But he pushed me. He made me think it.
Anything else we got, Admiral?
Yes, I would steal too. And I have stolen.
Bryce, how could you?
I ran out of milk, so I thought I'd go to the local all-night shop and get some more. I was absolutely intending to pay, but when I got there, everyone was frozen. I thought about leaving money on the counter, but that seemed weird. The cashier would wake and suddenly this money would have appeared from nowhere.
See, there you
But
go.
I've stolen bigger things. Because you have to hope, don't you, Doctor?
Yep.
It's only the power of hindsight that made me realize how toxic it all was. And after a point, you go too far to be able to come back anyway. That wretched dig goes on 24/7. 25/7, if you ask me. Your patient, Nathan, caused quite a stir. He interrupted one of the female students all night, apparently. Made her miscategorize some findings, going on about his dead girlfriend. It's amazing what you hear at the coffee machine. Well, I suppose that's a bonus. We're allowed to use their coffee machine while they're there.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yes, I suppose I've destroyed a few things whilst in the hour.
Okay,
You
what'd
can
you
be
do?
the perfect supervillain. Nobody knows it was you.
You know what? Yeah. Thinking, guys. No, I think we'll call it here. Hmm. That's how this works. Jasmine. Who are you, Jasmine?
I'm Jasmine. I don't come in that often. What happened to Dr. Dekker?
It appears he's dead.
Oh. When? How? Sorry, you probably don't know, do you?
Not really. It's a mystery we'll have to solve soon, folks. But yeah, we're gonna have to call it here, folks. Your boy's getting a little extra sleepy. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed the infectious madness of Dr. Dekker. I will see you two after the meteorite scare. But yeah, let's get out of here.